Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? It is 7:34 p.m. here in the good old state of Florida, in the good old country of the USA. And I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for about an hour. Yeah, no topic of conversation tonight. Just whatever's on your mind. That's basically the theme of every single live stream, right? A lot of other live streams have a specific topic. Today we're going to talk about this news. What happened with this news? What happened with this and that and that? Well, no. We talk about anything and everything here because, A, I'm not good at coming up with topics, and B, it makes it a little more fun when we ping pong conversations all over the place, right? For me, it does. For me, it's more fun, at least. But yeah. Welcome, guys. What's on your mind? Mando, Mac, and Sapity, good to see you both. Mr. Darth Nicholas. Andrew, Trevor Oaks, Ricky, what's up, Ricky? Smart Person, JTD. Tristan, Pika fan? Pika? Is it Pika or Pika? Chris, Wednesday. Good to see everybody. So yeah, I did a live stream this morning. Just like it was like 25 minutes of me on microphone. I was just trying to wake up a little bit with some coffee, hanging out with everybody. But yeah, here we go. Darth Nicholas says one of my all-time favorite thumbnails, Star Wars Culture War Panics never stop being hilarious. Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand Star Wars the Culture Wars. It's so weird to me, like I don't get it, man. The amount of wasted energy worrying about shit that does not affect you. I don't know. Who the fuck has the time? The energy? Most issues. Now, there's some big issues, right? But most issues that people bitch and moan about can be handled with a shrug of the shoulder and a who gives a shit, right? When you constantly feel like you're a soldier in the culture war on the internet, sorry, you're a fucking loser. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Played some Battlefront 2004 on Steam earlier, said Smart Person. Nice, man. Actually, I realized that I still have that installed when I was looking through my game list on Steam, and I uninstalled it because I don't know. I don't like having a lot of stuff installed that I don't have to that I don't play, Mando Mac, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support of the stream. Max says, evening HG from rainy England. Hope you're well. Ah, I could go for some rain. The 30, almost 30, my birthday is in a couple weeks. I'll be 37. And the 37-year-old dad with a mortgage and a lawn sits back and he puts his hands on his hips and goes, oh, we could use some rain. This St. Augustine grass could use some rain. But I'm pretty envious, Mando. I fell asleep on the couch earlier, and it was like really cloudy, and I was expecting to start hearing rain, which is the most comforting sound ever when you're kind of dozing, right? But it did not. It did not. But yeah, things are well, man. Things are going good. Got some fun plans for this coming weekend. Well, I work on Sunday, but we're doing a little early Mother's Day thing on Saturday with my wife and my mom. We're going to the beach. Gonna grab some lunch. It's gonna be a good day. Other than that, you know, normal life stuff. But I'd love to go back over to England. We were over in England in 2015. We went to London. Took a bus to a few other small towns. Went to Windsor Castle. Went to Stonehenge. Did a little touristy stuff. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. Anyway, Mac, I appreciate that. Indeed, Max says listening to the rain makes the best couch nap. I agree. So it's funny. Maybe you guys have heard of something like this. Oh, well, you definitely have, because it's kind of mainstream these days. But forever, my entire life, not only me, but my extended family, my parents, my cousins, my aunt, my uncle, I think my grandparents too, but everybody in my family uses what's called, or at least we call it, a sleep mate. It's basically like a white noise machine. We all use them. And it kind of, you know, for me, it's, I have a hard time sleeping when it's just dead quiet. So it fills the void of sound, and kind of, I guess you could say it kind of emulates the sound of like rain. But I don't like electronic ones. I have one that's like an old school, just like a circle with a fan inside of it. The electronic like noise machines or sound machines or sleep mates, whatever you want to call them, I always feel like I hear a pattern in them, like a resetting of the MP3 file or whatever the hell's inside of it. You know what I mean? Nice, Doom. You watched all of them? Is that all Saga films? 1 through 9? Or is that also including like Rogue One and Solo? Buster the Jedi, now that Picard is over, will you do a review? Also, have you seen any Star Trek outside of TNG? So I haven't really watched any Picard. I watched the first episode of the first season, and I think that's all I watched. So I've heard the third season's pretty good. But at the moment, I don't have any like desire or plans to kind of catch up with the series, you know, so definitely no review from me. And when it comes to Star Trek outside of The Next Generation, I haven't seen too much. I've seen episodes of the original series. I've seen a couple episodes of Voyager, but I've never seen any like Deep Space Nine. For me, TNG is my Star Trek. I would love to broaden my horizons one day when it comes to Star Trek, but you know, it's just kind of like the perfect sci-fi show for me, you know. But yeah, Darth Nicholas, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for the channel support this evening. Nicholas says, just finished Survivor's main story and bounty hunting side quests. Wait, what? On PS5. An all-around amazing experience and definitely an improvement over Fallen Order. I didn't know there's bounty hunting side quests. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm not able to play the game yet. So I have an older computer. I have an old, it's about 7-8 years old. I built it basically in anticipation of Battlefront 2015. So it was top of the line and future proof back then. It was like top of the line rig. But you know, I think playing Survivor, it will struggle when I'm eventually able to play it. You know, one day I'm hoping to be able to play it on this PC even. Like at the moment, Nick, I launch the game, the loading screen goes fine, but then as soon as like the menu is supposed to pop up, the game crashes. It gives me an error. You know, obviously I updated drivers, I uninstalled, reinstalled. Everybody suggested a bunch of different stuff and none of it works, for me at least. And I think you know, I don't know if it's an issue with my specs just being a little outdated, but I would think that I'd be able to at least access the menu. So I think it's a bigger problem than just having kind of an outdated machine, you know. This is the first time a modern game has ever given me any headache. For the past 8 years of you know, me having this PC, I've been able to play everything up until this point. And again, I don't think it's an issue. I think it's a deeper issue than my kind of outdated PC. Just because I can't even launch the goddamn game, you know. So, my goal in the next, I would say, 2 years, is to get a new computer. To either build one, which I've always done, or buy a pre-built, which I'm kind of leaning towards these days. Like, it used to be, back in the day, it was so much cheaper, like considerably cheaper to build your own PC. Nowadays, from what I've seen, comparing and contrasting prices, that's not all that true anymore. It's almost kind of one for one. It's pretty comparable. You know, building your own and buying pre-built. So I might end up just buying a pre-built PC, literally for the first time since like 1995. My goal is, you know, in the next 2 years to do that. It's not feasible right now. My wife is kind of in between jobs. You know, I'm not going to go out and buy a $2,500 computer. I need a $2,500 computer because I need things to be faster. I can't justify that. Not even in my own head for myself, you know. But in the next couple years, you know, maybe that plan will be executed. But in the meantime, you know, I am bummed that I'm not able to play it. But at the same time, I don't really have much time to play it. So it's not all that big of a bummer to me. You know, eventually I will. But I didn't realize that there's bounty hunting side quests. That alone sounds awesome. But yeah, man, I appreciate that channel support this evening. I'm glad you had fun with it. Christian Kim, goddamn guys, thank you so much for the rapid fire super chats here. I got Christian Kim, Crash the Hedgehog, Oscar, Andrew, Vince, and Ricky. I appreciate it, guys. Christian says, a year ago, I got to see a 70mm unaltered print of A New Hope at the Academy Museum. Han shot first, and the audience clapped. That's a dream, man. What an experience. I would love it if somewhere around here, there's an independent theater called Sunray Cinema that I used to go to all the time. It used to be like right around the corner from my old house that me and my wife bought, our first house. We lived kind of like in a downtown Jacksonville-ish, and it was, you know, every city has a little section like this. It was kind of you know, a lot of breweries, restaurants, kind of a hipster little area, and they still have an independent movie theater, which is just so cool. I love it there. And maybe one day I'll reach out and be like, hey, how about show 4K 77 or something like that, you know? That'd be kind of cool. I don't know what the legality of that, but I think seeing that on the big screen, Christian, the unaltered versions on a giant big ass screen in front of me would be one of my favorite Star Wars experiences for sure. Because I've never seen them on the big screen, you know, the unaltered, the original versions, right? Saw the special editions in the theater when they came out in '97. I've seen them played with the Jacksonville Symphony, which is cool, but obviously it was like at that time it was the Blu-rays, the Blu-ray versions. But hell yeah, man. What an experience. I would be one of those people clapping for sure. It would be an uncontrollable knee-jerk reaction of just my hands smashing together. But anyway, I appreciate that, Christian. Glad you got to experience that. Crash the Hedgehog 91, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Crash says, I've seen Visions Volume 2 on May the 4th, and I'll be honest, this is better than Volume 1. Seeing the various art styles and cultural influences is great. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Unfortunately, I didn't finish. I've only seen one episode from Volume 1, and I haven't watched any of Volume 2. It's not because I haven't wanted to, it's just because of a factor of time, which is the story of my life. And so many other people's lives. I'm not bitching and moaning, that's how it goes, right? But yeah, man, I love that they kind of incorporated a lot of different studios from around the world. And, you know, it looks really neat from the trailers that I've seen, the clips, the pictures, the images. Yeah, I like the idea of a lot of different people, cultures, mindsets getting in the mix and making Star Wars stuff. That's exciting to me. You know, having a bunch of different types of people from around the globe getting to play in the sandbox that is Star Wars. You know, what else? What more could you ask for, right? But hell yeah, Crash, I appreciate that, man. Glad you enjoyed it. I'll eventually get around to it.
Season 2, Episode 2 of Visions is truly spectacular. Visions is reaffirming my opinion that SW is best when it is not afraid to not try and be SW, and worst when it is trying to be SW.
Ben, thank you so much, man. Give me one sec. I got Oscar Rodriguez, Andrew, Vince, Ricky, Ben, Smart Person, and Nick. Thank you so much, guys. Oscar says, "Let's all work to get Greedo a PS5 or Xbox Series X." I appreciate the sentiment, but to tell you the truth, man, if somebody dropped $500 right now, I wouldn't spend it on a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. We're kind of pinching pennies at the moment, so I'd probably put it towards my mortgage. But I appreciate the sentiment there, man. I'm not in the market for a new console. I'd rather save up a few years and, you know, get a beefier PC, a modern PC. 2 years from now will be the 10-year anniversary of me building this computer. And this computer, that I built, so I've been blown away by it for over the past 8 years. You know, in the past, all of my computers, after a couple of years of using them, they'd get bogged down. They'd get so slow. I'd have to reformat. They always turn to ass. But this one has never had a single hiccup. It has just been so damn solid. And when I think about that, it's just so strange. I mean, maybe I guess newer technology is more future-proof, or more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, reliable, I suppose. But like back in the day, I remember getting new computers, and then after a year or two, that shit was just so bogged down. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Oscar. Andrew Rodriguez, thank you so much as well. Andrew says, just started playing Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga for the first time. I think it has an open world free play. I would highly recommend it. I was actually looking at that today to see if it's gone on sale. But I think I saw it for $50. What is does G2A, would you guys ever buy anything from G2A? I think I asked that a few maybe a month ago or so. Let me see. Skywalker Saga. Okay. Lego Skywalker Saga for $15 on G2A. I might have to do that. Yeah, I was debating about getting it. Like, if it was on sale for $10, I probably would have bought it then and there, but you know, $50 for a game right now at my current state and not really having time to play it, it's a little steep, you know. Oh, bought it for the $25 on May 4th. Nice, Andrew. So yeah, that is a game that I definitely want to play. It's pretty high on the list of things that I'd like to play and stream even, you know. It came out over a year ago. I didn't realize that. Wow. I'm always late to the party, right? That's just kind of the nature of me in this channel. I'm not a topical YouTuber. I made a Caravan of Courage video and it's going live tomorrow. I made a video with all the Star Wars stuff coming out, new games, new announced things, all that stuff. What did I do? I made a video about a 39-year-old made-for-TV movie. But yeah, anyway, glad you're enjoying it, Oscar. I mean, Andrew. Yeah, maybe I'll pick it up. I just saw it for $15 on G2A, so maybe I'll do that. But I appreciate that channel support this evening, Andrew. Let's see. And Vince, good to see you, man. Vince says the WGA is on strike right now, and apparently Tony Gilroy has stepped away as producer for Andor Season 2. Damn, that worries me. Anyway, favorite Kubrick. I saw that as well. I didn't read too deep into it. I kind of have my head in the sand and I don't pay attention to much. But I did see that. Is everything pumping the brakes? Is the production pumping the brakes right now? I mean, I would like to think that they would halt production until this gets resolved. Because, you know, selfishly, I want Andor Season 2 to be on par. Oh, one sec.
See Road in theaters, although nothing could prepare me mentally for seeing Jeddah rocks on the big screen. I still had an incredible experience, and this was much needed after Tross left a bad taste in my mouth.
There you go, Nick. Thank you so much for the generous super chat and channel support this evening, man. I greatly appreciate that. Give me one sec. But yeah, Vince, selfishly, like, I want season 2 of Andor to be on par with season 1, and to have, you know, Gilroy stepping aside, maybe only temporarily while this gets resolved. It is worrisome. I'd like to think that they would pump the brakes on everything, get everything resolved, everybody get back on the same train, and, you know, make it as high of a quality as season 1 was, you know. But that is, I had the fear when I saw that headline that things might not be as on par with season 2 as with season 1, if that makes sense, when I saw that. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. It does worry me as well. But again, I'd like to think that things would get resolved before they go full steam ahead. In my favorite Kubrick movie, you know, growing up, it was Spartacus. I watched Spartacus. Now that's changed, but I watched Spartacus. When did that come out? 1960? Yeah, okay. I first saw Spartacus in middle school. They actually showed Spartacus in one of my classes in middle school. And I got hooked. I watched Spartacus so many times at home after that, growing up. Now, at the time when I was that age, did I know it was Kubrick? Did I know anything about Kubrick? No, I didn't. But I just loved that movie. And back then, Spartacus ruled, and it was my favorite Kubrick movie. These days, it's a little difficult for me to say. My head says 2001, A Space Odyssey. My heart says A Clockwork Orange. In high school, I watched A Clockwork Orange so many times, man. So many times. So, Clockwork Orange might be my favorite Kubrick movie. It might be. But then you got Doctor Strangelove. I love that movie. I watched it, like, I brought it with me on deployment, and I watched Doctor Strangelove. I don't even know how many times on deployment. But yeah, so for me, it's probably my top 3 right now is Clockwork Orange, 2001, and Doctor Strangelove. With a lot of nostalgia for Spartacus. I don't know if I've actually ever seen Eyes Wide Shut, Vince. I don't know if I ever have. I own it. I know for a fact I own it on DVD, but I think it was just one of those things that I bought because it was Kubrick and I never ended up watching it. But maybe that'll have to be a watch soon. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I appreciate that, Vince. Ricky Dicky Do the Grimes, thank you so much for the channel support this evening as well, man. Rick says, as much as I'm enjoying Jedi Survivor, I'm still grieving over Battlefront 2 no longer receiving support. Imagine how much content we would have by now. Yeah, it's a big bummer. I know they had huge plans and a lot of big ambitions for Battlefront 2. Like when I talked to them in 2000, I talked to some of the EA developers in 2019 out in LA for EA Play. And it was me and a few other YouTubers, and we were talking about what we would like to see in the game and certain things like that. And the things that they mentioned, and I don't know if they were just appeasing us or if there was actually things in the work for the things that we wanted, but the things that they mentioned were... Oh, one sec.
TPM feels like the third movie in a trilogy about Qui-Gon and Obi, whose two first films we never got, while Aotk and Rots feel respectively like the first and third movies in a trilogy which is missing its middle.
Mr. Wolfman, French-Canadian Wolfman, good to see you. Thank you so much for the very generous super chat and channel support this evening. Give me one sec. But yeah, what they were talking about was super ambitious. And, you know, I was skeptical with what... I don't even know if I can say what they were talking about. Despite it not happening, obviously. And the game's not receiving any updates. But I was skeptical back then. And then everything shut down, right? It's a bummer, but I understand... you know, games, they can't live forever. It had a good run. They did an amazing job kind of giving content to an entire era of Star Wars that was lacking when it came to, you know, modern Battlefront games. I mean, they did so much prequel era stuff, which was awesome. You know, it's not necessarily for me, but there's a lot of people out there who love that stuff, and it was good to see that they received a lot of love, you know. It's what's a big shame to me, Ricky, is that the game didn't allow people to really make their own mods. I mean, yeah, you can make your own mods, but like other people can't see your skins in the game. Now, what would have been cool is if you were allowed to make your own servers and a big server browser, like Counter-Strike or something like that, right? You could host your own server, you could create your own maps, you could make your own mods and stuff like that. That would have been incredible. That would have ensured the longevity of the game, you know, creating a communities within a community. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. You know, if they, you know, if you're not going to have official support and future updates for the game, well, I think the best thing to do, and I'm sure it would be a massive undertaking to allow this, but would be to put the creation in the player's hands, you know, to ensure that content is always plentiful and continuous. But, yeah, that would have been, to me, that would have been an amazing solution. You know, you're not going to get any official release stuff anymore, but you can go on some of your favorite player-made servers and check out maps and whatever that people have made, you know. That would have been incredible. We can all dream. We can all dream, right? But anyway, Ricky, I appreciate that, man. Hopefully one day we'll get a game like that that allows players to kind of have their hand in the creation of things, right? Benjamin B, Smart Person, Nick, Vince, Nick, and Wolfman, thank you guys so much for the channel supports and the patience this evening. Ben says, Season 2, Episode 2 of Visions is truly spectacular. Visions is reaffirming my opinion that Star Wars is best when it's not afraid to not try and be Star Wars, and worst when it's trying to be Star Wars. Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying there. When at a certain point, when Star Wars is, as you said, trying to be Star Wars, it feels like we've seen things before, the same things over and over again. It feels like an emulator. You know what I mean? It starts to feel repetitive. It starts to feel like it's losing its creativity. When Star Wars begins to think outside of the box, push the boundaries of what Star Wars can be, then I think the real gems and uniqueness and creativity shine. I mean, to me, Andor is the perfect example. It's not your conventional Star Wars show or movie or whatever. It's not. It changes up the formula. It gives us something new. It's not, you know, it's not afraid to do something different in this sandbox. And I appreciate that. That's where the future of Star Wars lies. Great Star Wars lies. When people constantly want to see the same thing, characters over and over again, that doesn't do shit for me. That's boring. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I mean, to each his own and all that jazz. But like for me, I want boundaries pushed. I want unique stuff. But yeah, Ben, I need to check out Visions. I mean, dude, I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's a factor of time. How long are the episodes? They're not full, like 30-minute long episodes, right? They're short. Anyway, Ben, cheers, man. I appreciate the hell out of that super chat and channel support this evening. Hope you're doing well. Smart person JTD, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Oh, they're 15 minutes. That's highly manageable for sure. All right. Maybe I'll start it up tomorrow at the fire station on my laptop. Anyway, smart person JTD, thank you so much for the channel support. You said, went to see Return of the Jedi at the local Alamo Draft House last Tuesday. It was super fun. Was worth it to see it on the big screen. Have a good one. You too, man. Yeah, I wish I would have been able to go see it, but just time did not allow it. It's all good, though. You know, it's all good. I was a little bummed. I saw everybody having fun, taking pictures in front of the poster. And I sat back and it was like, damn it, I wish I was there. But, yeah, it would have been incredible to go see. I'm glad you had fun. Alamo Draft House last Tuesday. How many Alamo Draft House are there? Alamo Draft House locations. North Carolina? What? Man, JTD, I didn't realize there was more than one. There's a lot of them. I had no idea that there were so many Alamo Draft Houses. Holy shit, they're all across the country. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize that they were so plentiful. Whoa. I really only knew the one in LA. I had no idea that there were multiple Alamo Draft Houses. Huh. That's cool. Where's the closest one to me? What? There's one in Orlando? Oh no, Alamo Cinema Grill. That's not it. Oh, you son of a bitch! You're trying to profit off the name. Alamo Draft House in Birmingham, Alabama. Alamo Draft House in Charlottesville. Alamo Draft House in Raleigh. Alamo Draft House in Staten Island, Boston, Seaport. What? I learned something big at Wrigleyville, Alamo Draft House in Chicago. They're everywhere, man. Interesting. How cool. Anyway. Glad you had fun, JTD. I appreciate that channel support, man. I wish I would have seen it, but, you know, time, priorities, I couldn't swing it. Maybe for the 50th anniversary, right? But I appreciate that, man. North Carolina is my local one. Been there lots of times. Nice, man. That's cool. Mr. Darth Nicholas, thank you once again for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. Where is it? Nick says, "Your so feeble skills show no match for this power of the dark side." You're so Let me try that again. Mr. Nick. You're so people gonna die. You're so feeble skills, no match for these powers of this dark side. Oh my god. That's hard as hell to say. Your so feeble skills show no match for this power of the dark side. Is that something you made up? He doesn't say that, right? He doesn't really say that. Does he? No. Oh. It's a Return of the Jedi quote. It fucked me up because it messed me up because I was in Jar Jar mode and I was thinking Jar Jar said that. Duh. Your feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side. Best lightsaber fight. Best confrontation. Return of the Jedi. Palpatine, Vader, Luke. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But anyway, I appreciate that, man. You also say people gonna die? Vince, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. Vince says, "How many times did we all see The Force Awakens in the movie theater?" Ooh, in the movie theater. Okay, let me count it. I still have all the ticket stubs for that movie. Okay, so I saw it at Tinseltown. I saw it at the IMAX. I saw it at Sunray. I saw it again at Tinseltown. Oh, and I saw it at so Tinseltown, Sunray, IMAX, Tinseltown again, and then I saw it in a tiny ass theater in North Georgia in the mountains with my buddies. That cabin road trip we always take every year. We took one a couple days after The Force Awakens came out, and we all went and saw it in just a super small town movie theater with like 1 or 2 screens. So I saw it 5 times in the theater. I saw it 5 times in the theater. What about you guys? How many times did you see The Force Awakens in the movie theater? I might have seen it twice at Sunray, so it was either 5 or 6. I can't remember if I saw it twice at Sunray, if that was Force Awakens or The Last Jedi. But it was definitely 5, at the least. Oh, nice. 5. 5. No, Nick says 5. Vince says 5. Ben says 9. Goodness gracious, man. That's commitment. That's fun. 3. A lot of people saying 5. Man, what an experience. What a build-up. What a hype. That was so much fun, man, going into that thing. Anyway, I appreciate it, Vince. Darth Nicholas, thank you so much for the channel support. Nick says, where did it go? Nick says, "I was able to see Return of the Jedi in the theaters, although nothing could prepare me mentally for seeing Jedi rocks on the big screen. I still had an incredible experience, and this was much needed After the Rise of Skywalker left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, I mean, like, the fact that it was not the original version was not... It would not have been a deterrent for me to not see it in the theater. I just didn't have the time to see it, which was a bummer. But, yeah, Jedi Rock sucks. I've never talked to anybody that likes Jedi Rocks. It's like... What a stupid name for a song, too. Like, internally in the universe, they wrote a song called Jedi Rocks. That's just lame. The original song was called Lapty Neck. And it just kind of fit better, in my opinion. Like, the whole movie stops right then and there. So some CGI characters can sing Jedi Rocks. Lapty Neck rules. Da 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 da. It just, I don't know, it fits the vibe of Jabba's palace more. Way more than Jedi Rocks. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm super biased. Because I grew up with Lapty Neck. I grew up with the original versions. So, like, whenever I think of Return of the Jedi, honestly, man, like, Jedi Rocks doesn't even cross my mind. It's always Lapty Neck, just because that's what I grew up with for years, decades. Yeah. But I'm glad you said it was an incredible experience, man. I'm glad you went and saw it. Yeah, I mean, most of us aren't big fans of the special editions. Maybe you're just indifferent. But I would hate to have that dislike of those versions, the newer versions, be the reason that somebody doesn't go and see it on the big screen for maybe like a once in a lifetime experience, Yeah, so I'm glad you went and saw it, man. And I'm glad it was able to wash. I'm glad it was able to be some mouthwash as well. But, dude, Nick, thank you so much for the extremely generous super chat and channel support this evening. Snice Noodles, CG Lips, John Yow's digital saliva is more embarrassing than all reality TV combined. Yeah. Oh, day, or whatever he says. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Anyway. I appreciate that, Nick. French Canadian Wolfman, thank you so much for the super chat and also the patience. Wolfman says, random thought. Random thought, The Phantom Menace feels like the third movie in a trilogy about Qui-Gon and Obi, whose two first films we never got, while Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith feel respectively like the first and third movies in a trilogy which is missing its middle. Yeah, I can understand that. Do you think it's because of the large time jump and the massively different look of Anakin? Is that why maybe it also feels more out of place or more different than 2 and 3? Does that make sense? Yeah, I can understand. Now, you have Master and Apprentice, which is a book. Obviously it takes place before the Phantom Menace. So maybe if you're looking for some stories that kind of fill that time frame, that would be a good book to read. But yeah, there is like obviously a jump in time, but it does, to me, the Phantom Menace feels way different than Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. It looks different. To me, it's It's my favorite prequel movie, and I think it feels more conventionally Star Wars than Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. It looks more conventionally Star Wars as well. So, you know, maybe that's another reason why. I mean, outside of the story beats and the little time we spend with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, maybe that's another reason why it might feel like it is a part of a different, I guess, trilogy that we never got to see take place. Does that make sense? It's been so long since I've watched all three of those movies. It was probably the last time I sat down and watched those three movies was probably like 2013, 2014. You know, kind of just hyping up and anticipating the release of The Force Awakens. So maybe if I sat down with that mentality in mind, Wolfman, I'd be able to see what you're seeing a little more. But I definitely understand. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I appreciate that channel support this evening. I actually have not read Master and Apprentice. I own it on the Kindle. It is a book that I am hoping to read soon. I'm still reading Thrawn Alliances. So after Thrawn Alliances, the next Star Wars book that I read is actually probably going to be Heir to the Empire. I bought it on sale, I don't know, a couple months ago maybe, on my Kindle. And I think the next Star Wars book that I read is going to be Heir to the Empire. I read it years ago, like when I was, I don't even know, I was in middle school, and I got it at a middle school book fair. I mean, years ago. So I don't really remember it. I still own that same copy, but I'm sure a lot of it went over my head at that age, you know? So I just have a desire to kind of revisit it, especially since, you know, Ahsoka's coming out, or not because of Ahsoka, but because Thrawn's going to play a large role in that show, and, you know, all that stuff. But anyway, I appreciate that, Wolfman. Benjamin B and Vince, thank you guys so much. Benjamin B says, one sec.
I find it hilarious that TCW decided to make an EP about Sice Noodles and Zero the Hutt's romance. Easily two of the most compelling, underrated characters in all of SW. Right up there with Umbara arc on the Siege of Mandalore.
I forgot about Zero the Hutt. Nick, thank you so much, man. Give me one sec. Let's see. Where did it go? Benjamin says, viewing order for the sequel, 7, 9, 7, 8. Trust me. What's the... So Force Awakens, and then The Rise of Skywalker, and then The Force Awakens again, and then The Last Jedi? I'm trying to think of the benefit of viewing it in that order. Even doubling up on The Force Awakens. Interesting. What would be the benefit of watching it in that order? I mean, oh man. Interesting. I've never heard anybody talk about watching the sequels in an order like that. Said, trust me. I'll trust you, man. I don't have much of a desire to watch The Rise of Skywalker again, though. It's one of my least favorite movies, and I don't care if I ever see it again, to tell you the truth. But interesting viewing order. I'll have to think about why that's beneficial. But I appreciate that, man. And Vince, thank you so much as well. Vince says, mention these, but everyone should watch the prequel trilogy making of docs. One sec. Ben says, it kind of gives the sequels an alternate universe vibe, like a Marvel What If, and I accept them as two different duologies. Interesting. Yeah, 8 After 9 is pretty interesting. I mean, honestly, man, I might like it more if it was the middle act. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to change a lot with, I guess, Luke in The Rise of Skywalker. Maybe omit him entirely. But watching The Force Awakens and then The Rise of Skywalker and then The Last Jedi, you know, you have that transition, that seamless transition between episodes, the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi with Luke and Rey. Wonder if that would feel a little herky-jerky if you switched up the order of that, you know? But anyway, Vince, thank you so much, man. Vince says, mention these, but everyone should watch the prequel trilogy making of docs, all on YouTube. Really entertaining, unfiltered look behind the scenes. I'm pretty sure I've seen them. Prequel trilogy making of The Beginning. That's the one. Is that the one? I mean, that's the only one that I'm thinking of. The Beginning, the Phantom Menace making of. I've watched that a few times over the past few decades that it's been around. What year did that come out, actually? The Beginning, the making of episode 1 or whatever. What year did that come out? Okay, it came out in 2001 from what I can see. Yeah, so I've seen that a few times over the past couple decades. And yeah, if you guys, I'm assuming a lot of you guys have already seen that. It's only an hour long, but it's fantastic. It's like, I mean, there's no narration. It's just kind of you're basically a fly on the wall. And you're watching George Lucas like talk about storyboards, and he's in rooms with you know, his art department and people like that, and you get to see him select what different aliens are going to look like. It's a really good fly on the wall documentary about making Phantom Menace. I would highly recommend, if you guys have never seen it, definitely giving it a watch. Definitely. It's called The Beginning, Making Episode 1, and it was released in 2001. And it's a very interesting watch. It's a very interesting watch. The Beginning, technically from puppets to pixels, Star Wars within a minute. These are the docs I'm talking about. These are some edited promo style docs that aren't as great. Oh, there are some edited. I've never seen the other two. The only one that I've ever seen is The Beginning, Vince. I don't even think I've heard of From Puppets to Pixels or Within a Minute. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna pull those up, and maybe I'll give them a watch. Let me see. Puppets to Pixels. From Puppets to Pixels. All right. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this. If I have, maybe I'll watch it and my memory will be refreshed. But honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen that. But anyway, yeah, you guys, if you guys have not seen the beginning, the making of episode 1, watch it. Please watch it. You will get a kick out of it. It's so dry. And like I said, just a fly on the wall. You are a fly on the wall in the creation of episode 1, just watching George Lucas. And it's a great little documentary. Vince says you've compared the Phantom Menace doc to The Office, and that's very accurate. Did I compare it that way? That's funny. I don't remember saying that, but if I did, that's definitely true for sure. But anyway, I appreciate that, Vince. Thanks, man. Mr. Darth Nicholas, Minato Namikaze, and Darth Nicholas once again. Thank you guys for the channel support this evening.
At least Sai's
sec.
singing voice, her speaking voice is a different matter entirely, was pleasant in that TCWEP, and I liked how her performance gave off a Temple of Doom Club Obi-Wan vibe.
Darth Nicholas says, I find it hilarious that the Clone Wars decided to make an episode about Sai Snoodles and Zero the Hutt's romance. Easily two of the most compelling, underrated characters in all of Star Wars. Right up there with Umbara and the Siege of Mandalore. At least Sai's singing voice, her speaking voice is a different matter entirely, was pleasant in that Clone Wars ep. And I liked how her performance gave off a Temple of Doom Club Obi-Wan vibe. Yeah, I feel that. It's been so long since I've thought about that arc. I forgot about that romance. I completely forgot about Zero the Hutt. What a goofy little arc. That's so... whenever I talk about the Clone Wars, I really like it. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of arcs and episodes that are just kind of like... that are just forgettable in my opinion. That is one of them. From what I remember. I remember watching that and just being like, what in the hell? What in the hell is going on? It was so... Man, maybe I'll watch that again just to get a refresher on how goofy that was. Yeah, if you guys didn't know... yeah, I'm sure you all know Zero the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt's uncle, Zero the Hutt, conspired with Count Dooku to kidnap Jabba's son, Rhoda? I don't remember. That was the plot of the movie too, wasn't it? No? I don't remember. Yeah, what a weird... Zero the Hutt. He reminded me... His voice reminded me of, like, when Zach Galifianakis does, like, a southern accent. You ever heard him do that? Oh, that brings up a little funny point today. Kind of off topic. My daughter was... we were talking, and she likes... to make up stories, and we'll play and whatnot. And she was like, oh shit, hold on one sec. There we go. Oh crap, can you hear me still? There we go. She was talking about, like, her being a superhero and her superpower is this and this and this, and then she just said, does Darth Vader have any superpowers? And I said, yeah, he uses what's called the Force. You know, she's 5 years old. She doesn't really know much about Star Wars. I'm not forcing it down her throat. I don't care if she likes it or not. But I was like, yeah, he uses what's called the Force. And she said, so he can like pull people to him, right? And I said, yeah. And I said, you know, and then I did like a Vader impression. I said, you don't know the power of the dark side or whatever. And then I went, oh, have you ever heard Darth Vader talk? Have you ever heard what he sounds like? And she said no. And I said, and then in my head, I started thinking of Zach Galifianakis when he does that Southern voice. And I was like, well, he kind of sounds like, I'm gonna get you, Luke Skywalker. I'm gonna get you. And she was like, no way, for real? And I was like, yeah, that's what he sounds like. He said, he sounds like, you don't know the power of the dark side. And she believed me for a little bit. I was like, yeah, he's like, I'm Darth Vader. I'm going to get you, Luke. I don't know. I just found it really funny. She's never heard Darth Vader speak, so she thinks that Darth Vader sounds like that. I'm going to hop in my ship and I'm going to get you, Luke Skywalker. I'm going to get you. Yeah, that's what Darth Vader sounds like. Isn't that weird? Anyway. Yeah, Clone Wars went a little too far in a few places, right, Nick? For sure. The episode is called Hunt for Zero. Dadgummit, Luke. I'm gonna get you. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, Nick. Yeah, there's a lot of goofy stuff in there, and there's like 1 billion episodes, right? So, you know, they're not all gonna hit. Not all the arcs are gonna hit. Some of them are goofier than others. You got things like, you mentioned, Umbara and the Siege of Mandalore, and then you have things like, you know, Zero the Hutt episodes. So, I guess that's just how it's gonna be. Definitely matured, and matured with his audience, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the generous super chats this evening. Minato Namikaze and Oscar, thanks for coming in with the final super chats of this stream. One sec. Minato says, thoughts on the Gran Turismo movie trailer. I haven't watched it yet. Let me see that Turismo movie. Wait, Jerry Halliwell from Spice Girls is in it? Does she act? I didn't know that. Jerry Halliwell, IMDb. She does voices. She's been in a few things. Huh. Interesting. No, so I have not seen the trailer. I have it pulled up here. I can't listen to it. I don't want this thing to get dinged for copyright. What's the general consensus? What do people think of it? I've played like one Gran Turismo game in my entire life. And it must have been the first one. Was there one on the original PlayStation? Or maybe it was a PlayStation 2. Let me see. Let me look at... Okay, yeah, so the original PlayStation. I believe that's the only one that I've ever played. I've never... So I owned a PlayStation 3 for like a year or two before I sold it. Maybe it was longer than that, but I've never been really into into racing games. So, you know, not having a PlayStation for most of my life, I've never really been much of a PlayStation guy. I've always been a PC gamer, and I occasionally buy like an Xbox, you know, whenever I feel like it. Yeah, so a lot of these games, Gran Turismo included, kind of passed me by. And, you know, even if I did have a PlayStation, I probably wouldn't have gotten this just because, again, I've never really been into racing games. That's actually a really good idea, smart person JTD. I might make that. I'm gonna get you, Luke. Get back here. But yeah, Minato. So I'm really not familiar with. I know of its existence. I've never really played the games. And I've never really been into racing games. You know, the only racing games that I've ever liked are like Mario Kart. And, you know, back in the day, I used to have like San Francisco Rush. I used to have Cruisin' USA on the Nintendo 64. And I had a steering wheel and, you know, the gas pedal and all that stuff with that. But other than that, man, yeah, racing games. Oh, I used to play. The only other racing game I really played was there was a NASCAR game on the PC, and me and my buddy bought it as a joke because all we wanted to do was troll in it. And that's all we did in it. We would start a race, we would do like one lap, and then we would turn around and we would just try to head-on collision people that were taking the game so serious. And you could you'd be on microphone, so you would hear them yelling and like, it was hilarious. It was so funny. I miss trolling in video games. Yeah, man, we used to be such assholes in video games. Like, we bought NASCAR not because we like NASCAR. I have zero interest in it. We bought NASCAR just to mess with people. And it was money well worth it. Good times. But anyway, Minato, I appreciate that, man. And Oscar Rodriguez, thank you so much for coming in with the final super chat and channel support of the stream. Oscar says, I know you don't buy discs, but do you buy digital? Yes. So if I buy, well, you know, I still have a tendency to buy physical console games. Which I don't know why. There's still like a mental block there. When I'm buying a console game, there's something about having, like, it's not a collector's thing. It's just like, I guess maybe that's just how I don't know. I don't know why I still buy like physical console games. Which is kind of stupid because, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, and I'm sure you guys have been there, where like you want to play something different and you got to get up and put the disc in. You got to find the disc, you know, blah, 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 blah. It'd just be way easier if I started completely buying digital games. And I don't buy many games to begin with, but maybe I'll start doing that on the console. Now with PC, I haven't bought the last physical PC game that I bought, I think was, I think it was the first Division game I bought on the PC. I don't know, what year would that have been? The Division 1. 2016? Really? I thought it was older than that. So 2016 was the last physical game that I bought on the PC. And the only reason I bought it on the PC physically was because there was some crazy, like, if you were a subscriber to Amazon Prime, you could buy it physically for like way cheaper than digitally. And that's the only reason I did that. Other than that, man, I haven't bought a physical PC game in... Goddamn, I don't even know. I don't even know. Yeah. But... so yeah, when it comes to... I don't really buy digital movies. I usually just wait until they're on streaming. You know, unless it's something that I really, 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 really want to see. Maybe I will. I've done it a couple times, but, you know. Anyway. I appreciate that, Oscar. In Minato Namikaze, thank you for coming in with the final super chat and channel support of this stream before I head downstairs. Minato says, Disney Plus loses 4 million subs over the last 2 quarters. I wonder what that is. I wonder why that is. Is it... I don't really keep up with, like, what's on Disney Plus. I mean, really, other than Star Wars stuff and some things that my daughter likes to watch. Yeah, I don't really keep up with what's on there. I mean, I assume it's not because of a lack of content, right? What would the reason behind that be? We canceled our Disney Plus subscription a couple months ago, so I canceled my account, and then we ended up getting Hulu Plus or Hulu Live or whatever the hell it's called. And with Hulu Live, you get a free Disney Plus subscription. So, like, I'm still subscribed to it, but I'm technically not paying for it, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a big drop off when something like The Mandalorian finishes? You know, I know a lot of people ping pong between services based on what they want to watch. You know, you're not going to pay for a service if you're planning on watching something on a different service. Maybe that's a factor. I don't know. Really, the only reason we have Disney Plus is because of our daughter. There's a lot of shows she likes on there, and, you know. Yeah, Hulu and Disney Plus already combined. Like, we have Hulu Live, and then which comes with a subscription to Disney Plus. So that's what we did. But yeah, interesting. There was a drop off prior to Mando and during. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe I'll pull up some articles and see what people are saying, why that is, you know. That's yeah, that's interesting. I mean, the price has increased significantly, right? When it first came out, it was like, what, $6 a month? Oh yeah, ESPN Plus too. I forgot. I need to download that. I don't know what's really on there. Maybe they have more. Like, the only thing that I would want to watch are Braves games, but no. Anyway, there's some cool documentaries on Disney Plus about the parks. You know, the Disney World and Disneyland and all that stuff, which are worth watching. But yeah, we don't watch too much stuff on there. The parents, me and my wife, you know. My daughter watches a ton of stuff on there, but is it people without kids who are not subscribing anymore? I mean, I feel like if you have a kid, Disney Plus is like the best thing for them, for you to have a membership for. Yeah, I don't know. But all right, guys, I got a jet. This was fun. It's always a good time hanging out with you fine folks. So I got to work tomorrow. Then Friday and Saturday, I don't know if I'll... Oh my god, my chair is even more broken. Did you guys see my chair in my helmet live stream. It's even more messed up now. Anyway, I don't know if I'll do a stream Friday or Saturday. Definitely not Saturday. Well, maybe Saturday. We'll have to see. It'd be around this time if I did, but I don't know. You guys know me. I don't plan on anything. I do have a video scheduled to go live tomorrow. It's about Caravan of Courage. It was I shouldn't have watched it just because I wasted my time, but it's all good. I got to make a video out of it. All right, everybody. To everybody who super chatted and supported the channel this evening, thank you so much. To everybody who hung out in the chat, thank you so much as well. I hope you all stay safe out there. Have some fun and be nice. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. See ya.